Hi y'all, I'm Angie. Welcome to my channel where I do stuff. If you're new here, thank you for joining me, and if you're a returning subscriber, thanks for coming back. So everything you need to know about today's video, including all of my socials and my webpage and everything else, will be linked in the description box below. So I've had a couple of requests for this video, so today I'm going to give you a tour of my front porch with all of the petrified wood that I've collected over the last few years. Let's go ahead and get started. So as you come up to my house, you will see this piece right here. Please ignore the weeds. My yard guy does not come as contractually agreed. But this was in my grandparents' yard in the Westbury neighborhood in Houston. And when they sold the house, I took it. It's been in all of my front yards since then, so it's been moved quite a few times. And then there's this piece, which came off of that piece. It was one big chunk that Joe and I found on the bank of a creek, and we moved it from the creek to, not this house, the other house. This is the second house I've lived in College Station, but moved it to the first house, and it broke when we were getting it out. So that's why it's in two pieces now. But I love this because the huge limb scar on the outside on the bark, it's kind of leaning over. I need to reposition it. But and the color on here is just beautiful. And then this is the other part of the piece. I don't know how much this thing weighed. You can see the color right here. I have no idea how much this thing weighed, but it's ridiculous, and I feel sorry for whoever helps me move when I leave here, because they might not be a friend anymore. And then these pieces down here are just random pieces of petrified wood that I've picked up who knows where. This one, I don't know if you can see, there's a slight wavy pattern on this side over here. I just think that's really cool, and I can't remember what species of wood that is. This is a chunk of curbing from Texas World Speedway when they started taking it all apart. I grabbed part of the curb. I may have hit this curb at one point. Let's see. Rotors out of a Mazda engine. This is a turbo that got blown during a race. Here's another turbo that got blown during a race. A piece of the wall from Texas World Speedway. This piece, I'm not real sure. This came from the video of I found wood inside a living tree, or inside living tree roots. You can see the chalcedony right there shining. And all of it right in here. Common opal maybe. Very pretty. Oh wow. And that end, that's all chalcedony. It looks pretty opalized though. I don't know. I have a really hard time figuring that kind of stuff out, even though I've been doing this for years at this point. And then I think this piece came from that same video. In fact, Barbara, if you're watching, I think that's your piece. I think I need to get that to you. This is a piece, I don't remember where this came from, but I remember when I picked it up, it was imported. So it's limestone fill that came from somewhere else. So wherever I found this, it was not native to the area, but I picked it up because of all of that. A couple more pieces of wood. I really liked this one because of the color and texture. This one came from a video where I was rescuing petrified wood from a subdivision from development. Bucket full of calcite that needs to be cleaned, petrified wood. These were deer aging samples that a dog got a hold of, so that kind of pointless. More petrified wood, and irises. I think these came from the tree root video as well, which, you know, that's sad. That is a stepping stone that we made out of little pieces of petrified wood. That was like one of the very first projects I ever did with petrified wood, right when I first moved here and started doing this. This piece is covered in a layer of chalcedony, and unfortunately, because it's so dirty and it's over here in the corner, you can't see it shine. But it's beautiful. I loved this piece just because of the really weird shape of it. That was pretty difficult to carry. I remember having to carry that one like a baby up out of the creek, and it sucked. This one came from another subdivision video. This piece is really unique because there have been people who have debated about whether or not this is natural weathering or this was someone with like a rock pick. I think rock pick. And the reason I say that is because it came from a really old railroad bridge in Brazos County, and all of the rock around the supports of the bridge were made of this sandstone. And I think that these guys were just bored, like on lunch or whatever, and hitting, because this is not the only rock I found that was like that, but they were only done like this on certain sides. Just really pretty wavy grain. If y'all know me at all, you know that I love the wavy grain. I loved this piece because of the color. Now, all of this stuff has come from Brazos County, pretty much. Brazos, Burleson, Grimes, Washington. It's all been around this area. Let's see. This one, I know I picked up because of the color. This piece I love because of the grain on top, first off, but this one has really cool limb scars, and mud daubers have made their little nests in there. Let's see, here's another big piece. This one came from the Living Tree Roots video as well. I love all the limb scars in this one. If you're enjoying today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It really does help the YouTube algorithm, and it lets me know that you enjoy the content I'm putting out. And this one came from one particular creek here, and I know because it's so chalky and brittle. It seems like all the wood I have that's chalky and brittle comes from there. This is another really pretty piece with really cool grain. Another chunk of curb from Texas World Speedway. I love this one because of the bark and the holes in it and the color. It's beautiful. I picked up this one because this is all kind of druzy when you catch it in the light. Just big freaking chunks. I like this one because of the color in it. It's so pretty. And this is like, I don't know if this is like a vine, because I've been told by a few scientists here in College Station that most of this area during the Eocene was covered with very, very tropical stuff, and more like that would be a vine instead of a tree. But the only way for me to know for a fact is to get a slice of this and look at it under a microscope with comparisons to be able to tell what species it is. So I don't really know. But the fact that this is all one piece all the way around, you know, you don't find too many of those around here. Usually you're not going to find like a piece of a trunk, you know, it's going to be only half of it or something, you know. As you can see with almost all of these pieces, they're cut, you know, they've broken in half or whatever. This is another piece that came from the Living Roots video, and I can tell because I just remember how some of that, or how the petrified wood was in those videos, and so some of them stand out more than others, but that's how I can remember this one. It has a very ceramic ting to it when you hit it. These have a lot of common opal on them. I don't know if you can see that. These two came from, all three of these came from the same creek because of the stage of weathering and the opalization. I absolutely adore this piece because of the color. I love it. And then the same with this one. That was part of a root ball, as I'm sure you can tell. But here, let me jump down. So this one in particular has an absolutely gorgeous grain to it. The swirls and the weathering is beautiful. And this one with all of the marks in it, it's just so pretty. This one was a booger to get out too. And it has big veins of chalcedony and agate running through it. This was part of a root ball as well. And I just love the irregular grain on that one. This one, of course, I grabbed because of the color. And then, oh, and then this one here, I grabbed because of the weird mineralization in the grain. This is a very soft, it's very light for its size. And then that is a piece of chewed beaver wood from Lake Somerville. And so is that. If you have followed me on Instagram long enough, you will remember that one of my first posts was about finding a chewed beaver log, and I was so excited. This is a project gone wrong. It did not play out like I was expecting, so that's going to take some time to fix. But even just being out in the sun for a little less than a year now, it's completely disintegrated, so that's a problem. And so the only other rocks really of note, I've got a brick right here that came, well, I'd have to flip it over to see. Pink granite from the Marble Falls area. This is a piece of old Highway 87 going through from High Island to Sabine Pass. This came from the Colleen area. Just gorgeous limestone. That came from, that is granite and quartzy stuff. That came from the Mountain Home area. Another brick. That's another rock that came from my grandparents' yard. I have no idea where it came from. I found that down in Rock Springs, Texas. Yeah, So I guess that's it. That is, I have more stuff in the garage, of course, but y'all don't want to see that yet. There's my giant cholla. If I wanted to go like super like southwestern farmhouse chic, I could put that in a planter with rocks or something and put it in the living room. Well, y'all, that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you did, I hope you'll consider subscribing because I would love to see you back here next week when I do more stuff. Bye.